Most chipping errors, chunks, thins, duffs, come back to one thing, and it's not nerves. It's one fundamental misunderstanding of how to get the club back to the ball. I'll show you what that mistake is, how to spot it, and how to eliminate it from your game altogether. If we boil this down to the main problem, which essentially is where the club touches the ground and how it touches the ground, that's where most failures occur. You know, it can be ground first and too much ground first. It can be no ground, it can be ground too late. We're really looking at a low point issue. Too far back, too far forwards, or too deep. Combination of the two. Take a look at my previous video for a bit of an idea on concept of radius control and how to manage depth more effectively. But today I'm going to dig right into the single most common fault that I see on the lesson tee and in my online academy and fix it quickly. I'm going to try not to get too deep into the science because it's kind of a need-to-know basis. Like, you don't need to know why these things occur. Like instructors, coaches, fine, maybe they need to know a little bit of the background behind why these things occur and how to fix them. But for you, the player, it's about the issues you face right now, not why they occur maybe, and how to get it fixed quickly. So without further ado, let's jump in and say the biggest problem is this. It is your trail arm, right arm for a righty, left arm for a lefty, and what you do with it on the downswing primarily, but also a little bit on the backswing because that leads into what you do on the downswing. Okay, so the biggest fault I see around the green is a drive with the trail arm. So we'll see some bending on the way back, and there'll be a lot of pushing and driving towards the golf ball. Typically in the effort to get the low point as far forwards as you can. That might be tough from your body position, there's all kinds of other things that weigh into it, but we look at this and say, you know, poor chippers generally have no control over this right or trail side. Too much thrust, too much drive. The only bit of science I'm going to jump into is that through the ball, this should be on its way up. Okay, so there'll be mid downswing or late downswing. From here, the butt of the club or the handle of the club starts to move upwards through impact. Very difficult to do that if you are still driving downwards and forwards like this with your trail arm. You put too much push on the club, it never rises and your low point gets way, way underground. So in the effort to try and drive your low point forwards, you can also drive it down, and that actually moves your contact point on the ground further back, and not in a nice way. You can try and use the bounce as much as you want. If you try and throw it and drive with the trail arm, you're into the ground early anyway. It's going to be way too far underground, you're going to bury it. No bounce involved. And the absolute worst case scenario is if you drive it down to the ball and out away from you, you're going to live in the heel, so it can cause shanks pretty quickly. Might be the purest shank I've ever hit. To keep things short, how can we eliminate that from the game? Well, there's a few different options. There's actually 3 basic options, and I'm going to run through them in some kind of logical order. If I want to take away the thrust with this trail arm, if I don't load it on the way back, as in I don't bend it, I can't push with it, right? So we can eliminate it altogether by keeping your right arm or trail arm long and wide on the way back. Think Jason Day, Steve Stricker, not a lot of loading going on here, right? So quite a wide swing. Okay, if you bend it a little bit and you think you're not bending it, you're still going to push. You have to be really, really strict with how straight you keep it. So if I try and keep this really wide, it is going to make me a little bit shallow initially, but I'm going to find it hard to thrust. I mean, that was okay. That came out pretty nice. Okay, now if it does make you a little bit shallow, you have to do other things to accommodate. Maybe you have to move forwards more. Maybe you play the ball further back. Maybe you don't swing as far inside because that's a shallowing piece as well. Okay, so you can eliminate the right arm altogether. Not an easy feel. There are training aids to help you do it. One from Dan Frost at Shore Golf. It'll be one, it's actually a strap that goes here, goes to your thumb on your lead arm, but I put it on the trail arm quite a bit. And it has like a strap from thumb to here. And you try and keep that strap long and taut throughout. Can't play with it though, unfortunately. So how about we think about pressure on the grip? If I think about pushing my right palm down onto my left thumb throughout the backswing, I'm constantly pushing away from myself. If I'm pushing away from myself, I can't pull in. If I don't pull in, I can't push out again. So a little bit of pressure down on that lead thumb with my right palm. It might feel a bit tense, but there's nothing wrong with that. Doing it absolutely fine, no problem with contact whatsoever. Okay, so that is option 1. Option 2 would be to allow some bend of the right arm on the way back. All right, but here's the kicker. You have to keep that bend on the way down. Right, so I'm going to load the trail arm a little bit. It's going to slide up a touch. Then I'm going to try and maintain it all the way through to follow through. So there's no push, no drive whatsoever. With this one, you can maybe feel a little bit more relaxed, a little bit softer than kind of that pushing out feel. So it might suit your preference. So I'm going to load it I'm going to make sure it doesn't go too far away. I'm going to maintain it through the ball. Pivot has to be good. Have to turn, have to move forwards. All right, not bad. So as you can see, these flights from here, they're a little bit floaty. There are other things I can do to bring the flight down and get my strike a little bit steeper, which it probably needs to be, but this is really about controlling the thrust and the drive through the ball, so I'm not too worried about that at this point. The issue with the trail arm bending and then straightening is you have to have the discipline and control and the body movement to accommodate that. So I can't do this with the intent of keeping it the same on the way down and not turn, not get my chest towards target, not get my right shoulder down towards the golf ball. If I move back, if I don't rotate, I'm in deep, deep trouble. I'm going to have to throw that arm out at the golf ball anyway. So the pivot has to be quite strong. I'm going to really turn my chest to target on this one. And the more I bend my arm, the more I have to pivot. All right, so if I bend it quite excessively and try and hold, I have to pivot very, very hard. That's just a case of matching things up, right? More bend, more pivot, less bend, less pivot. What's option 3, I hear you ask? Well, this is accommodating a thrusting trail arm. Let's say for a little while you've tried option 1, keeping it long, you've tried 2, letting it bend, can't get it. I just feel like I have to load and I have to push, maybe to get speed on the golf ball, whatever it is, whatever the reason is, you just can't handle it. Let's show you how to accommodate that thrusting trail arm. So I'm going to load it on the way back. If I'm going to push downwards and forwards aggressively with this part of my body in here, I need something that's going to counteract it and move things up and left. Okay, so I can push, I can drive, but at the same time I have to pull up and back with my chest, up and back with my shoulder to get a little bit of upward on the grip. Now, the biggest fault you're going to see is when you drive with the trail arm, the knees go, everything is this far underground. It's just death. So I'm going to go with a bit of thrust here, a bit more drivey, and I'm going to stand up. Oh, that wasn't good. I'm going to stand up at the same time. It'll do, it was floaty. Should probably clean my club face. It's absolutely filthy. So these balls are all popping up. Clean club face. This should behave a little differently. Little drive, little stand up. Now, what do you know? Now, if you've learned nothing else today about the trail arm and how much of a problem it is, you've learned that a clean club face makes the ball go lower, a filthy club face makes you go up, no matter how good you are. So that's it, that's the trail arm. That is the biggest single issue I see teaching day in and day out at every single level. It's lack of control of the trail arm. You learn to accommodate it or you learn to fix it, it's one or the other. But for me, it's an absolute death move in short game. If you enjoyed this content, make sure you do visit wedgematrix.com, where we've got a lot more in-depth information on this exact part of the game to help you save strokes. You might be interested in this video here, which really shows you how to control the radius of your swing and your low point depth.